I got bad news for you. You can only die once. You can't near have as many convictions as you think. But I'm telling you, there's a time, guys. There's a time when you've got to take a stand your ground, don't give an inch, face your adversary, whether fearful or fearless, but you have got to take a stand and don't be moved. But when you're tempted, that is not the time. If you find yourself tempted, run like a coward. That is the best thing. I mean, you are minding your own business. We have it's out of the inventory now, the F-117. The F-117 was a stealth fighter, and it was not picked up on radar. And they shot one down. And the way they shot one down is they got two crisscrossing radar patterns, but you know what they did? When they thought it was coming, they had these turned off. And when they both came on at the same time, suddenly this guy found himself in the middle of a red circle. Pow, they nailed him. That's what I told you. You can fall into temptation. You're minding your own business. All of a sudden, man, the radar comes on. You're smack dab in the middle of the red spot. You know what you do? Get outside the sphere of influence as fast as you can. Run like a coward. Guys, somebody wants to attack your wife or steal your kids or whatever, you take a stand. If you got to die defending them, then die defending them, okay? But when you find yourself tempted, that is not the time to say, I'm going to take a stand. No. Run like a coward. We all know about Joseph and Potiphar's wife. Do you really believe for a second that Joseph was the first person that woman ever propositioned? I've always thought that around Potiphar's household and the servants, I'll bet they had a word for her. I'll bet her nickname was Easy. You say, yeah, but Joseph ran. You ever think he ran because he wanted to stay? Maybe he wanted to stay, so he ran. Now, if you just said, well, yeah, but he got blamed for it anyway, that's okay. Yeah, but they lied about it. Oh, yeah, you want them to lie about you, trust me. I don't know why people get upset when people lie about them. People lie about me, man, I am so thrilled. I love it when people lie about me. There's a guy on the internet right now. If you go to his website, he says this. Sam-Gipp says, if you don't speak English, you can't be saved. I know. Somebody told me it was there. I went to his website. Sure enough, it said, Sam-Gipp says, if you don't speak English, you can't be saved. What do I care? I speak English. No, I don't. No, I tell you. Those Quebecers got to worry about it. But you know what? That's a lie. I've never said that because I don't believe that. You say, well, then he lied about you. Yes. Aren't you mad? No, I'm thrilled. When somebody lies about you, I think a lie is the greatest compliment somebody can give you. Because here's why this guy put that on the internet. Because he doesn't like me. He looked me over as closely as he could and couldn't find anything bad about me that was true. So he made something up and he lied. Guys, that's a compliment. And you would rather have somebody lie and say you did something that you didn't do than do it. Oh, I know what some of you guys are going to say. Oh, but if I run, my friends they're going to laugh at me. Yeah, they're going to laugh at you. They sure are. They're going to call you wimp. They're going to call you mama's boy. They're going to call you coward. They're going to call you all kinds of things. But if you think that stuff, you stay and give in. And that very same crowd will call you far worse things than it'll be true. So when you find yourself in temptation, I am telling you, you get out the door. I mean, you head out, double time running. Don't look back. Don't wait. When somebody says, wait a minute, no, I'm not waiting for anything. I'm out of here. Because you may give in and you will be in trouble. But there's something else I want to talk to you about temptation, and you really need to get this down. Look at Hebrews chapter 4. Hebrews chapter 4. Hebrews chapter 4, look at verse 14. It's talking about the Lord Jesus Christ, and it says, seeing then that we have a great high priest, which is passed into the heavens, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold fast our profession. For we have not an high priest which cannot be tempted or touched with the feelings of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like as we are, yet without sin. I don't know if you understand the weight and the revelation of that verse. Again, don't raise your hand, but I'm telling you, I am talking to every I'll bet in some point, every single person here has been tempted to do something since you've been saved. You have been tempted to do something that was despicable, that was perverted, that was illegal, that was vile. You don't even want anybody to know that you thought about it, that you were wanting to do it. You don't even want anybody to find that out. And you know what you do? You beat yourself like you did it. That verse just told me that to be tempted to sin is not sin. Doesn't it say Jesus Christ was tempted in all points like as we are? What? Yet without sin. Then being tempted to sin is not sin. Right? And you know what some of you do? You go, I can't believe I thought that. I can't believe that I got on the phone and dialed a 900 number, and when I heard the voice on the other side, I hung up. I can't believe it. What do you mean you can't believe it? You better than Jesus Christ? Don't worry, he wasn't dialing 900 numbers. But he was tempted to do something. That's what the verse said, yet he didn't. And here's what we do. When we find ourselves tempted, we beat ourselves like an old Roman Catholic. You beat yourself as though you did it. You know what we do? Didn't that verse say in James chapter 1 verse 12 that if you endure temptation, it's a victory? And that you have earned what? The crown of life, correct? So if you've ever been tempted to do something and didn't do it, that's a victory. Why are you turning into a defeat? Why do you beat yourself? I can't believe it, preacher. I just can't believe what I almost did. I can't believe what went through my mind. Whoa. But it went through. It didn't stay. And then we hear about somebody else who was tempted. Now, let me tell you this. I might have been coming back from Brother Williams on this. I was over preaching in New Zealand and Australia, New Guinea, and I was flying back on a Qantas flight from Australia. I don't often fly Qantas. This might be the only time. We just gear up out of Sydney, and the pilot comes on and says this Qantas pilot says, ladies and gentlemen, it's like a 15-hour flight to LA. All drinks are free. All booze is free. I don't know if that's a Qantas policy. I don't know if they were celebrating, the pilot's birthday, or he was just mad at the company trying to break him. I don't know. But all drinks were free. Now, guys, let me tell you something. I haven't had a drink in 40 years. I got saved over 40 years ago. I haven't had a drink. I might still like it for all I know, but I'm not out to find out. And I'm telling you, it wasn't very long where it was like an aerial party dorm, a college dorm party. I mean, everybody on the plane, just about everybody was sloshed. I mean, they were all just tipping them, drinking them. Now, I didn't have a drink. I really didn't. Now, this part is true. Now, I'm going to tell you the part. I'm going to make something up. What if I told you this? What if I told you what I just told you about that flight? And I said, Lord, I'd sure like a drink. And, if I have one of those little brown bottles of booze, I'm not going to drive. And certainly the effects will be off of me by 15 hours. And it's free, so I'm not using your money. I mean, don't we always have a spiritual way to justify it? What if I told you that I called the flight attendant over and I got me one of those bottles of booze and I got me something to mix it with and I poured it into the cup and I said, man, I've really wanted this for a long time. And I put it down. What if I told you that whole flight, all I did was fight the urge to take that booze? No, I didn't. Trust me, I didn't. I didn't get any booze. I wasn't interested in any booze. I really wasn't. But if I told you that happened, some of you, when this message is over, would go to that preacher and go, you let somebody like him preach? You let him preach? In our church, you let him preach? And he'd go, yeah. Did you hear what he almost did? Did you hear what he almost did? Well, I just want to let you know, I almost killed you once, too. That was my real temptation. My real temptation was to drill you a good one. But I didn't do it, so it's not a sin. But guys, that's what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is that some of you have been tempted to do some horrible thing. You really have. I mean, you may have even begun to think about carrying something out, and you said, I can't do this. But then you're shocked that I could think such a thing. What do you mean? You're a walking, talking dirtball that the Bible describes as desperately wicked. Why would you be shocked to find out that you're desperately wicked? But I know this, Jesus Christ was tempted just like you and me, yet without sin. So if you have been tempted to do some terrible thing and did not do it, then would you try counting that as the victory that the Bible calls it instead of a defeat that the Bible does not call it? Do you understand that if you're sitting, you've been taking this spiritual whip and laying your back open like some old Roman Catholic, and what you ought to do instead is be trying on the crown of life because you earned it by not giving in to what you were tempted to do. Now don't tell somebody, well, I'll tell you what I was tempted. I don't want to hear what you're tempted to do. But I am going to do this for you. How would you like to experience temptation? Would you like to experience temptation? I'm going to tell you how to experience temptation. I mean, if somebody's here, and say, well, I just like to know what that feels like to want to do something that you shouldn't do, I'm going to tell you how to do it. Now, well, you look all scared. And your preacher really looks scared. I'm going to say 2 words. When I say these 2 words, a bunch of you will understand completely, and the young crowd won't quite get it, and we'll have to explain it to them. If you guys want to understand what it is, if you want to experience temptation, here's the 2 words. Timeshare. Now, a bunch of you went, oh yeah. Huh? All right, let me explain what a timeshare is. Let's say that you're going to go to Disney World. And so you want to go to Disney World. Now, I understand that I think a ticket to Disney World is like $100 for a day. That's what I don't know. And so it's going to cost you $200, you and your wife, $200. If you go to Orlando, before you ever get to Disney World, I will guarantee you will see a billboard that says 2 free tickets to Disney World. Duh. You can't figure that out? Let's go get the free tickets. So now here's what you think. You think you're going to walk in. I mean, some guy's going to put up a billboard and he's just going to hand out, $100 tickets at a hit. And you're going to walk in and say, give me those 2 tickets. And they go, sure, here you go. And you're going to walk out. It ain't happening. You're going to say, hey, we saw a number here. This place was advertised. You're giving away. Yeah, here's the 2 tickets right here. Well, good. Can we have those? Yep, you can. But wait a minute. You got to let us talk to you for a few minutes. Actually, it's 90 minutes. And here's what they're going to do. They're going to try to sell you a timeshare. Now, I want you to know, timeshares in and of themselves are not bad, evil, sinful, or anything. Here's the process. Here's the concept. A timeshare is like a condo. But you don't rent it one a week a year. You buy it. It is your property. It's like, why would you rent it for a week for $700 when you can buy it for a week for $10,000? Why did we buy that? Anyway, I'm telling you, that's what it is. That's what it is. I'm going to buy one. I'm going to do it. This time I'm not talking about temptation. I'm going to go buy a timeshare. You know why I want to buy a timeshare? They'll tell you, they'll say, now you're not renting this. You own this. For these 7 days, this is your own personal property. You own it. It is yours because you bought it. That's what I want. I'm going to buy a timeshare. And my week, I'm going to go in and I am going to paint it purple. And I'm going to take all that soft, icky furniture and I'm going to bring in bales of hay. And I'm going to set concrete blocks on end, put boards up there for tables. And when they come in and say, what did you do? I said, what'd you do? These? Well, I painted it. Why? It's mine. Well, what about the guy next week? Tell him to paint it. It's his. Well, what about the furniture? I took all that ugly, soft stuff and I shipped it over to my cottage on the lake. And you tell the next guy, I'm giving him my furniture. I'm leaving it here free. I want a timeshare so bad. I'm tempted. But anyway. Now, here's what you'll do. You'll say this. Well, I'll just go in and tell them we're not interested. cardboard stick with lollipop head.